Music has existed for nearly all of human history, providing a way for people to express themselves and their culture through a combination of pleasing sounds and rhythms. With the introduction of the phonograph and radio broadcasting, a new and increasingly popular position and title in the music industry came to be: the disc jockey. But this position has not remained play and broadcast music via radio waves to the general public. The current definition can mix and play songs at nightclubs, parties, or festivals, or be a crucial part in a band or group, providing the rhythm and background music to a performance. All of these modern-day descriptions did not come about overnight. It took a significant period of time for the DJ to establish itself. So, in order to understand how DJing became what it is today, and how advancements and availability of technology altered the overall impression of DJing, let's start from the beginning. When AM radio broadcasting in the 1920s, not many people tuned into local radio stations, due to numerous factors. The cost of a radio was expensive, since it was brand new technology at the time, and not many stations were airing since there weren't many customers. As the market expanded, the owners and operators of these radio stations hired extra workers to help keep their customers entertained by playing numerous records in a specific time schedule. This was the birth of the radio DJ. For a long span in the history of DJing, the radio DJ was the only position in the disc jockeying community. Their job solely consisted of organization and customer satisfaction. They scheduled certain songs at certain times, as well as other talk and radio programs, trying their best to appeal to the audience around them. Although some songs were performed live on air by their respective bands, most music was played via vinyl records, which would remain the industry standard until the 70s and 80s. The 1970s is an extremely important time period in the history of DJing, the time when the club DJ was created. With the influx of disco and mainstream music, it became common for clubs to hire individuals to play this specific genre within their establishments. The 1970s is also considered the birth era of hip-hop music and culture, starting off with DJ Kool Herc and his block parties in New York City. Kool Herc is widely regarded as one of the godfathers of modern DJing, having found a way to use the turntables to express creativity rather than just playing music. With this new creative expression through the turntables, as well as a new availability of the equipment used, the general public collectively became more interested in DJing. By the late 1980s, DJs became a more common sight in the music industry. For example, Jam Master Jay of Run DMC and Grandmaster Flash were both prominent musical figures in the 80s, who became famous for their DJing in their respective groups. Club DJing ventured somewhat back to its origins in disco by being introduced to house music, a genre in the late 20th century that incorporated disco-like melodies with electronic drum machine beats and rhythms. From here, almost all forms of modern electronic dance music evolved, exponentially increasing the number of professional DJs in the industry with it. Currently, it is estimated that 3 types of DJs, there are approximately 1.25 million professional DJs in the world. This is a huge leap from the early 20th century, where disc jockeys only existed where radio stations were based. But how exactly did this new musical profession and form of expression expand so significantly in years? Its growth can be contributed to 2 major factors: technology and availability. The technology of the 1920s is, for the most part, inferior to current technology. An analog was used for a large portion of DJing history, so much of the equipment used in DJing back then could only be purchased professionally. Sure, the public could purchase phonographs and record players to their liking, but the equipment used to fade in and out songs and such was only truly available to the radio stations themselves. This lack of availability kept the popularity generally low. As time passed, equipment became more compact and user-friendly, as well as available to customers. Mixers, turntables, headphones, needles, cables, and such created a whole niche market for DJs and mixing enthusiasts. Currently, most DJing is converted to a digital format, allowing compatibility with computers and software to make mixing so much more creative than in previous years. More and more electronic units have been produced since, and DJing is at an all-time high. With large festivals such as Ultra Music Festival in Miami, radio shows such as The Essential Mix on BBC One, and downloadable mixtapes online, DJs are finding it easier to gain popularity, grow their fan base, and generally express themselves, something which was not truly available 40 years ago. Things change with time, and DJing is no exception. Yet one thing that DJs from any time period have in common is their shared goal, to please their audiences. It is the audience that drives the whole music industry, and a DJ's success is determined by whether or not the audience is pleased with their performances and skills. Such has been the goal of a disc jockey for the past several decades. All in all, the art has been transformed since its inception in the early 20th century. Both technology and availability had direct effects on the increase in popularity of DJing to the general public. If not for those two factors, the music industry we know and love today could be drastically different. No matter how big or small of an impression, DJing will always have an impact on the identity of 20th and 21st century music for a long time to come.